Obviously, this is one of the most deadly days in U.S. history. So there is going to be a lot of inherent pathos in this. There's going to be a lot of emotional appeals to stir people into action and to togetherness. Next. A great people has a move to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shake the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. These acts shatter steel, but they cannot dent the steel of American resolve. America was targeted for attack because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world, and no one will keep that light from shining. Today our nation saw evil, the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the best of America, with the daring of our rescue workers, with the caring for strangers and neighbors who came to give blood and help in any way they could. Immediately again, you have the pathos. We're talking about the daring rescue. We're talking about the caring for strangers. We're talking about we are a great nation. We are powerful. They're trying to encourage that feeling of hope, and I think it does a great job of that. And then it goes to ethos, and this is coming from the President of America. So even if you have differing opinions on whoever holds the presidency at a certain time, what you do have is an inherent respect for the office itself. And so when the president comes on national TV, a lot of people watch it, especially after a horrific incident in America. They are saying, we need to look towards our leadership, and this is the leadership. So that is an inherent ethos that comes with the position. And also, I would say an ethos, a matter of authority, is the country itself. So you are saying America, great America. America is the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity. So they are setting up America as the top, the authority, the idea of being the best, of being the very brightest light and the very brightest hope for the world, which I think is very interesting. So I would say that even the presidency and America itself would be an example of ethos, which is authority. Immediately following the first attack, I implemented our government's emergency response plans. Our military is powerful and it's prepared. Our emergency teams are working in New York City and Washington, D.C. to help with local rescue efforts. Our first priority is to get help to those who have been injured and to take every precaution to protect our citizens at home and around the world from further attacks. The functions of our government continue without interruption. Federal agencies in Washington, which had to be evacuated today, are reopening for essential personnel tonight and will be open for business tomorrow. Our financial institutions remain strong, and the American economy will be open for business as well. Here again, they're calling on the idea of ethos, but also logos. So the way in which they're using logos is he is saying, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. We're getting stuff going again. People are going back to work. People are right now doing an effort. They're using everything that they have available to them to get things back to normal. I feel like that is an example of logos because they are stating a series of events, of ongoing actions that are going to lead to stability, which is what people were looking for. And then also, again, they're using that ethos, but in a different manner again, like the idea. So you trust the military, you trust emergency workers, you trust these people because they are not individual beings. They are a part of a larger system. And if they are saying that they're taking care of something, a lot of people will inherently believe them because they are part of this larger system that we see or view as authorities in their specific content area. Next. The search is underway for those who are behind these evil acts. I have directed the full resources of our intelligence and law enforcement communities to find those responsible and to bring them to justice. We will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbor them. Once again, they're using the words evil, despicable, things of that nature, and they are evoking that sort of pathos. It is a good way to keep people not afraid, but to set up those lines between this is us and this is them. What they've done is evil. We would never do that. And to say that, to condemn the act in the people is an example of ethos, because what the president wanted at this moment was to put America together, to have us feel the same thing, to think the same way, to be united, and that is a useful tool. And we did really need unity at that time. Yeah. I appreciate so very much the members of Congress who have joined me in strongly condemning these attacks and on behalf of the American people. I thank the many world leaders who have called to offer their condolences and assistance. America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world, and we stand together to win the war against terrorism. Now, if you're talking about ethos again, so not only now is it America, it is our friends, our allies, it is world leaders across the world who are not only offering condolences but also assistance. So they are reaching out to us, and together that is a very big mention of authority. And so it's not only the president telling you that things are going to be okay, but everyone else in the world, all of these world leaders are telling you that it's going to be fine, that we are going to work together. Tonight, I would ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered, and for all whose sense of safety and security has been threatened. And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. So this again is using an example of ethos. A lot of people view the Bible as being an authority. God is the ultimate authority figure, and they view it in that manner. So using a Bible verse specifically in here is an example of using a different kind of ethos to assure the public that everything is going to be fine.
Dano, could you please go to the nurse's office? Dano, please go to the nurse's office.
And then the last one, this is a day when all Americans from every walk of life unite in our resolve for justice and peace. America has stood down enemies before, and we will do so this time. None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you, good night, and God bless America. So for this last little bit, they are definitely using pathos. They are saying that we stand for justice and peace. Those are states that we want to live in. Those are the good ones. And an example of logos, and I think because it is factual, it's something that resonates in your history and your memory. America stood down enemies before, we'll do it again. And then none of us will ever forget this day, yet we will go forward to defend. So we are defending against the evil, defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. So good and just are also the sort of pathos words that as soon as you see a word like that, you automatically get a feeling. It's just like with an image. You automatically get a feeling of the word, whether that is a good or positive feeling or negative feeling. So that is definitely an example of pathos as well. And right here, if we're talking about allusion, this could also be considered one as well. They are straight out saying the verse, which is not alluding to anything, but what they are doing is they are alluding to the comfort that this passage is supposed to bring. They're alluding to a greater authority. They're alluding to God in this sense through this and using this direct quote, but they are alluding to the state that we will get to. They are alluding to that we will get through this together. And they are alluding to we have guidance and we are going forward and we're going to be strong. So while the psalm itself is listed, what they're alluding to is still there for the reader to grab onto. So I'm sure that you got all of these and more. This is just for you to look at, and I hope that you noticed rather you could read it if you wanted to. But that was it. And we're going to be working with rhetorical analysis skills throughout the year. So remember this, and if you have any questions, let me know.